Hello, welcome back to Rada. My name is Beast, and today we're back with more Secret Agent. Sorry, I drank something just now. Last time there was some exposure on here. Not that kind, you fucking perverts. And today I've decided that I'm going to go with my penis instead of anything else, and go for Mai-Route first. I'm not sure why her face comes to mind. I just know that thinking of her makes me feel warm and fuzzy. Just feeling what I think it is. Perhaps, but I'll forget about it for now. I'll just be glad I'm able to continue my mission. Refocus and think about how to discover the Bat's true identity. I need to if I want to live up to Mom's faith in me. She said I should be able to achieve both objectives. Oh right, almost forgot. People said the game is kind of quiet, so let's change this up a bit. If this is still too quiet, do tell me. But I also want to do myself proud. Oh yeah, also, you know what, actually, let me just like pick this up like this to show. I managed to get my hands on Dokapon Kingdom and was essentially playing that the entire time after work because currently the plan for New Year's in my family is to just play this. And I wanted to essentially do the main campaign in case there's anything you need to unlock first. At this point know it's not the jobs, at least, since the jobs you unlock by mastering other jobs. Aside, so you master like warrior and you get cleric for some reason, which doesn't make sense. But yeah, oh, alright. He is death called. Yes, as I was saying, this game is so fucking toxic. It is so unbelievably toxic. It's almost not even fun anymore. Mainly because the fucking Darkling. The fucking Darkling is so toxic. For those that don't know, yeah, for those that don't know, in this game, if you are far enough behind, you essentially get like this bat hovering above you that says, and it says that you can hear dark whispers of revenge. If you have that and go to a specific space or use a contract, you can hand over all of your money, items, and towns in order to turn into a Darkling. The Darkling is a bastard. It is busted. Not even fair, almost. Like, I swear to fucking God. For real, for real. But yeah. I don't know why I'm doing this. Put it away. Actually, no, I'm not gonna put it away since I can probably kill this thing. Oh, I can absolutely kill this thing. Do I YOLO it though? Oh, absolutely YOLO it. Them fucker's gonna heal it otherwise. Oh, yep. Got it. Anyways, what else I want to do? Read that. I just finished the fucking turn. There we go. I'll just put it back in there. Excuse me? Let me just save in case, to check if there's like some kind of indication if you're on a route. Either not yet, or it just doesn't have that. Excuse me? I opened the door and see it in Georgie smiling behind a mountain of paperwork. Sit down as prompted. She stands up, takes out a tea set from the cabinet, and begins pouring me tea. A short while later, the pleasant aroma of tea fills the room, and she brings it out with cake. No, don't let them eat cake. Thank you. And why do they not eat cake? Take a sip of the tea and moisten my mouth with it. So, what was it you wanted me for?
要件っていうほどのことはないの。ただ、お茶の相手をしてほしくて。
Huh?
ここで一人でお茶を飲んでも味気ないから、休憩の間、話し相手をしてもらいたかったの。
She smiles cheekily and cups her hands around her teacup. And wouldn't you have been better off inviting Kanon instead of me?
カノンちゃんはね、昨日お願いしたの。だから、今日はあなた。
So we're taking shifts. That talk with me will be interesting though.
話す内容は何でもいいのよ。ただ、相手をしてくれれば、それでね。このところ、ずっと仕事ばっかりで、息が詰まりそうなのよ。本当は、この間みたいにみんなとお出かけして、パーッとストレス発散したいところなんだけど、見て、私の机。
That's a lot of documents.
でしょ？あれでも片付いた方なのよ。そんな感じでしばらくここを離れられないの。だからといって仕事ばっかりしてたら心の潤いがなくなってひび割れちゃうわ。
So that's why you want someone to talk to.
そういうこと。誰でもいいってわけじゃないのよ。騎士団のメンバーだとどうしても仕事の話をしちゃうから。
Now you make me nervous. I'm not sure I can live up to your expectations.
普通に世間話をしてくれたらそれでいいのよって言われても難しいわよね。それじゃあ私の話を聞いてくれる？
I'd be happy to. That makes her smile and she begins talking about the movie she watched yesterday. She discusses the plot of an old American film and moves to talk about New York, where it took place. Apparently she's been there a few times. She talks about the people she met while staying there and amusingly recounts the little troubles she had. Listening to her makes it clear to me what a good speaker she is. She takes into consideration my ability to comprehend and occasionally speeds up the discussion and drags me into it. With her ample vocabulary, just listening to her talk allows me to clearly visualize the situation in my head. She must have had many opportunities to stand up in front of people and talk from a young age. Probably those experiences and her ability to unite it with her strong grounding that shaped her into the person she is today. She poured me a second serving of tea before I know it.
そうそう。トラブルといえば、女の子を連れ出して問題になったシュバリエの子がいたでしょ?
Yeah, if I recall, he was demoted to squire and Alfred was charged with looking after
あの
him.
子ね、今私の下についてるの。アルフレッド君が家庭の事情でしばらく学園に来られなくなっちゃったから、もともと真面目な子だし、よく働いてくれているわ。ただ、やっぱり他の団員たちとの折り合いはあまり良くないみたいだけど。
The vast majority of the Chevaliers who were very critical when his judgment was being handed out were Alfred's clique. That's why she tried to quell those opinions by putting him under Alfred's wing. So with Alfred disappearing, her efforts became ineffective, and they probably started expressing their dissatisfactions again.
それでネクトもアルフレッド君の抜けた穴は大きいのよ。彼、ああ見えてとても優秀だったから、私とは違った意見を持っていたみたいだけど、それでも騎士団のためにとよく働いてくれていたわ。いなくなってその大きさに気づくなんて言葉があるけど、まさにその通りね。彼を支持していた子たちも私のいないところで集まって何か話しているみたいだし、早く戻ってきてくれないかしら。
I don't regret what I did, but now that I know it had unintended consequences, I feel uncomfortable. I'm not a bad person at heart, it's just that a sense of justice is a little exaggerated. It was led on by the bat and strayed from the right path. Thinking about it that way makes Alfred seem like a casualty of the bat, too.
ごめんなさい。仕事の話はしないって言ってたのに。
That's fine, you'll feel much better if you let it all out instead of bottling it all up. All I can do is lend you an ear.
そんなことないと思うけどな。でなかったら、あなたを騎士団に誘ったりしていないもの。あなたには何かを感じてるの。それが何かはまだわからないけど。
Is it the assassination skills? It's probably the assassination skills. I don't know. If you don't know, then I certainly don't.
またそうやってはぐらかす。まあいいわ。今はそのままでも。でも、 もし私がその何かに気づいたときは、今よりももっと近いところでいろいろとお手伝いしてもらうから。
As in, you'll want me to join the order?
どうかしら。もしかしたらもっと近いところかもよ。今は騎士団のことで手一杯だけど、それも卒業するまでの間のことでしょ。それじゃあもったいない、物足りないと感じるかもしれないじゃない。
I'm not quite following you.
いいの、今はわからなくて。っていうか私もまだうまく言葉にできないし、ただそうね、私ね、あなたが気になってるの。
She smiles somewhat provocatively, yet somehow fondly. Having seen that expression on her face for the first time gives me a warm, fuzzy feeling inside. It's like a sex appeal that I can't put into words. Please don't tease me.
さて、どうかしら。
She stares at me for a bit, then drinks down her remaining tea. As soon as she looks away, I feel the tension seep out of me as though I was cured of petrification. It's said that real charisma can move people's hearts just with a gaze, and that really appears to be the case.
付き合ってくれてありがとう。いい気分転換になったわ。
Really did just talk, though.
それがいいの。それが欲しかったんだから。また何かあったら声をかけてもいい？
Of course.
ありがとう。じゃあまた今度ね。
I walk out of the office and head down the hallway for a while before letting out a big sigh. I feel unusually drained considering all we did was talk. I'm probably still not used to her vibes, unless it's something else. That can't be. I've learned a few details about Order's internal operations from our casual chat. If I have more opportunities to talk to her, I should be able to get a firmer grasp on the situation. I need to think carefully about the future with that in mind. Tell myself that repeatedly. I have to, otherwise her face keeps popping up in my mind. That's how strong an impression that seductive smile had on me. Man's already done for. Mai. Okay, now if I save, it'll probably tell me, hey, you're on Mai's route. Actually, it still doesn't, like, straight up tell me here, but... but yeah, episode Mai, I assume is just, hey, congratulations, Mai route now. I casually glance at the Over office and observe what's going on inside. There are 5 people, now 6, gathered and chatting casually. They don't seem to be working, nor do they seem to be leaving. There's always someone in there. That would seem better for infiltrating it. The device vibrates.
侵入ですか。どうしてそんなリスクを？アルフレッドさんはコウモリではなかったと結論は出てますが。
I hear a synthesized quizzical voice transmitted through my miniature bone conduction earphone. She hasn't materialized, but I can easily imagine her scowling at me. Well, thanks to Alfred, the order itself seems to have gone rotten.
私に匂いを感じる機能は組み込まれてませんよ。わかるように説明してください。
Wow, a rare wisecrack out of you.
緊張をほぐそうと思って。最近のジンさんはおしゃべりが好きみたいですから。
What do you mean?
あら、私に言わせるつもりですか？いくら AI でもそこまで野暮じゃありませんよ。
Still confused, I shrug my shoulders. Lately, Momoka's been speaking with a lot of implied meaning. As a result, I find myself unusually drained trying to read between the lines, even though she's an AI. Her personality seems like it's changed.
AI も人間と同じです。女の子の方が男の子よりもずっと早く大人になるんです。
You know, considering that some of us are still acting like little fucking kids in our fucking 30s, I can't really deny that. Find that hard to respond to and run my hand through my hair awkwardly.
それよりもどうして騎士団室に忍び込みたいんですか？
Ah, well, you see. To be honest, I'm relieved she went back to this topic. There's no doubt that the bat was involved behind the scenes with Alfred's incident.
上の方もそう考えてるみたいですね。本人すら気づかないうちに操られ、 実行犯に仕立て上げられる典型的なコウモリの手口ですもんね。
It's easy to say that, but in practice it's almost impossible to manipulate people that way. I explained the reason for my declaration. People's minds are complex, and if they know they're being manipulated, they lash back instead. And in particular, the members of the Order of Knights are all smart, talented individuals. They wouldn't be so easily
自
deceived.
尊心の塊みたいな人もいますからね。そういう人って下手な追従を打活のごとく嫌いますよね。
Of course, I'm aware there are inhuman ways of brainwashing people too. But the Bat has never once resorted to such crude means. Self-respect, vanity, honor, your sense of justice, righteousness, and duty. Appealing to those is how you lead a person on.
アルフレッドさんの一件にしても、彼自身が正義感をこじらせた結果ですしね。きっとそうやって踊る人間を見て楽しんでるのかもしれません。あまりいい趣味とは言えませんね。
And so we can't even find a hint of a lead, let alone something concrete. It's an extremely effective method. Accusation permeates the sound of my groans. Utilizing psychological warfare is essential for present-day ninjas. You don't win through fair and square duels, but by bending the truth and stabbing your opponent in the rear. Every so often, we grasp the inner workings of their mind, lead them on, and appeal to their rebelliousness to do our bidding. To that end, I received an awful lot of lectures on true nature people. The Bat's methods of leading people on is so far beyond the norm that it even impresses us. The way he clearly manipulates people's mind is equivalent to the finest terrorists and even ninjas. But if he's using such an advanced technique, it'd be impossible to do it from a remote location. They couldn't have created such a grandiose act without being right beside them, appealing to each of their emotions.
人間は自分が思う以上に常識の枠にとらわれて生きてますからね。
To make them step outside of that framework, they have to be nearby, always watching them and repeatedly fanning their emotions. In the most extreme example, people won't kill without a very significant reason. Yet in times of war, the lives of common folk were worth less than that of a straw. People will do the unthinkable when conventional wisdom changes. The Bat acts predominantly by stripping away that conventional
つま
thinking.
りアルフレッドさんこそホンボシじゃなかったけど、コウモリは間違いなく騎士団にいる、そう考えてるわけですね。
I mean, that's still on the table, especially since, if I remember correctly, he didn't confess to being the one to reveal fucking the musician at the start. You know, where the pin was left. So the pin must have still been left by the actual Bat. By the way, it's still weirdly funny to me that I predicted that there was a second Bat. However, I predicted it in the slightly wrong way. And I guess not one of the girls, unless you want to tell me that there's an Alfred route. Wouldn't judge, but you know, he's just kind of an uptight asshole, so. Which, you know, makes for bad sexy times for gay people. Bad jokes. I was joking about anal. In case you haven't noticed. Anyway, either that or someone close to the Order. I think that's highly likely. I suspect that Moka, being such an advanced AI, would have long since grasped this. So I have no doubt the reason she's speaking in this manner is to allow me to organize my thoughts. What I have to do right now is crystal clear, and my chafing has been erased.
確かにメンバーの資料やパソコンのログなんかを調べられれば怪しい人を絞り込めるかもしれませんね。
Now all we have to do is figure out how to sneak into there. Infiltration and investigation are my bread and butter. It's not that simple, but there's no need to get overly worked up about it. I have a comprehensive view of the layout of the school in my head from my daily time spent here. I've already mostly worked out how to sneak into there, but I still haven't conducted an on-site investigation, so I casually search for routes into there. Suddenly hear footsteps approaching.
見かけくんじゃない。ど うしたの？入らないの？
I can clearly determine who it is from their kind yet dignified voice. Hello, Renjoji?
なーに？そんな風に改まって、まさか何か悪いことでも企んでたのかしら？
She smiles with a little quip, but I'm a little shocked on the inside. She clearly hid her presence.
あら、ちょっと脅かしちゃったみたいね。何か考え込んでるみたいだったから邪魔にならないようこっそり近づいたんだけど、逆に迷惑だったかしら。
No, I was just fantasizing about protecting the school from terrorists or something, don't mind me. Give a silly response to cover up and disperse it with laughter.
君でもそんなこと考えるのね。そういえばうちの弟もちょうどそんな漫画を読んでるらしいわよ。
You have a little brother,
言
senpai.
っとくけど彼氏の隠語じゃないからね。正真正銘れっきとした弟だからね。
I wasn't doubting you.
8歳も年下だから可愛くってしょうがないのよね。ほら見て見て、昨日もビデオ通話で話したんだけど笑顔があんまりにもキュンってきたから安心した？
Relieved? What do you mean?
さあどういう意味かしらね。
This bitch knows. Honest to God, she would probably... She actually also would have... Like, we know how well she is at leading people. That she has enormous amounts of charisma. She could be the Bat, actually. Like, thus far, could suspect her, as well as Yui. But who I honestly think is the has the biggest possibility of being the actual Bat is Kuki. Which reminds me, part 1 comment, someone was like, ah yes, their headcanon now is that Mikage and MC, Jin, I don't know why I called him Mikage, or because she called him Mikage, that Jin is like the grandson of Yamato and Azumi from Majikoi. There's even a Kuki. So, aka, Jin's mom would be the daughter of them. Since, you know, she's the one that was the talented ninja, so... She gotta get her talent from somewhere. She chuckles meaningfully, which gets me a little nervous. I'm uncomfortable as it is around girls. All this trying to read between the lines is exhausting.
ちょっとからかいすぎちゃったかしら。顔が硬いわよ。
I feel a soft sensation in my cheek. She's stroking my cheek.
ほら、スマイルスマイル。男の子も女の子も笑顔が一番よ。
Then Georgie, I'm so shocked by her sudden act that I freeze like I've been petrified and burn up like my body's on fire. My chest aches from the embarrassing discomfort, but oddly enough, I don't find it unpleasant.
ますますカチコチね。まだ女の子は苦手なのかしら。
It's just, my voice cracks from the tension. I'm frantically trying to avoid responding inappropriately, so I struggle for words.
ごめんね、みかけくん。君を見てるとどうしても構いたくなっちゃうの。気に触ったなら謝るわ。
She pulls her stroking hand away. I feel relieved but disappointed for some reason
お詫
too.
びにお茶でもしていかない？ちょうど美味しいお菓子もあることだしね。それにね、声をかけたのは気まぐれじゃないの。実はちょうど君に話したいことがあって。
You did?
ええ。それとも何か用事でもあるかしら？
No. The opportunity falls into my lap, so I calmly return to my mission. This might be my opportunity to take a fresh look inside. Even if I've decided on the infiltration route, this should come in handy. I'd be more than happy to talk.
さあ、どうぞ。お茶受けも遠慮しないで食べてね。
Thank you. I grab one of the offered cookies and take a sip of the tea. The lovely aroma and astringency spreads through my mouth, and the fragrance of butter fills my nostrils. That alone is enough to delight my taste buds and stomach. This is Sri Lanka, isn't it? It's delicious.
あら、意外ね。 紅茶に詳しいなんて。
Well, not more than anyone else. You'd be surprised at just how informed you need to be for espionage and infiltration ops. The quickest way to get information out of a tea lover is, of course, through discussion of tea. I've also acquired knowledge about dance, gastronomy, table manners, sports, and countless other topics from all kinds of cultures and hobbies. Okay, yeah, now he actually is kind of reminding me of Yamato, since Yamato was essentially also just like, yes, cast the conversation topic in net and just reel in everything so I can essentially talk about anything, even if it's just surface level. Of course, I'm also able to obtain intelligence by feigning ignorance and incapability, too. I've never tasted these cookies before, though. They're loaded with butter, and it's so strong and appetizing. So tasty, they could be addictive. Which store did you buy them from? I quite like their heaviness. I actually like them so much I considered buying them on the way home.
そこまで分かってるくせに褒めるなんて、お世辞がうまいわね。
Huh? Wait, you mean...
少し焦げ目がついてたでしょう。バターも君が言う通り、ちょっと多めにしてみたの。
She sits opposite me and cheekily pokes her tongue out at me. You baked these? That's amazing. I didn't know you could cook too.
材料を混ぜて焼いただけよ。でも、まあ、きっと気に入ってくれるだろうとは思ってたけどね。
Sure, confident in yourself, but given how tasty these are, I can understand that.
それもあるけど。
She puts on a cheeky smile once more.
みかげくん、甘いもの好きでしょ。特にこういう洋菓子系が。どう？
She's so accurate that I'm a little shocked. Yeah, I never got many chances to eat desserts due to my family circumstances. In my village, all I could get were treats that elderly folk like, such as rice crackers and dry persimmons. It was enough to make me groan about wanting to eat cake like other kids my age. I recall going to town to buy treats to eat. You spotted me.
じゃあ、遠慮しないで全部食べて。私の分はまたいつでも作れるんだしね。
Thank you. I didn't expect you to be such a good read on to have such a good read on my tastes. Pull up the plate with my cookies on it and help myself to
う
them.
ぬぼれるつもりはないけど、私そこそこ優秀なのよね。
The voice and expression are somewhat proud, but the reason I find it questionable is because of how naturally she exudes. I don't find it questionable because of how naturally she exudes that
それ
confidence.
に騎士団には優秀な人材がもっと必要だからね。どうしても人間観察が趣味みたいになっちゃうのよ。
I feel like this game is very heavily trying to lead you on to believe that she is the bat because of this current scene.
ね、
So I
最
do
初
not
の
believe that
話
she
に
is.
戻るわけだけど、君に話したいことっていうのは。
You aren't going to ask me to join the order, are you? Anticipated to comment and ask first, which makes her nod vigorously, looking
そ
pleased.
の通りよ。話が早くて助かるわ。
She leans forward and brings her face
ただで
close.
さえ人手不足だったのに、アルフレッド君があんなことになっちゃったでしょ。おかげで今騎士団の内部はぐちゃぐちゃでね。あちこちで処理が滞ってまともに機能してないのよ。それで前々から目をつけてた優秀な学生をスカウトしたくて、こうして騎士団室にまでご足労願ったわけよ。君なら見習いをすっ飛ばしていきなりシュバリエに任命しても問題ないと思うんだけど、どうかしら。
Hold on, please. Me, Chevalier? No way, I
あ
can't.
ら、どうして？
It would hinder my mission. Of course, I leave that unsaid and make up a suitable excuse. I mean, there are countless others if you're looking for talented people. Why me? None of the other members would accept some average Joe like me joining the order.
君が平凡とは思わないし、他のみんなが私の決定に文句を言うとは思わないけど。
That does sound likely of the captain's words to find authority. But even so, she must be very confident to clear it so emphatically. Even if they don't complain, they'll harbor discontent. What's more, skipping being a squire is asking for trouble.
意外と細やかな神経してるのね。そんなのを気にするなんて。
Well, I'm a timid person at heart, so I'll pass on joining the
ど
order.
うしてもダメなの？こんなに頼んでるのに？
I'm terribly sorry, but yes. Alternatively, if I become a chevalier, perhaps my access would broaden, and it could make my mission easier to complete. Given the high likelihood that the bat is somehow related to the order, it would actually be helpful to be able to freely enter places only the order are permitted. But if I investigated and found nothing? But what if I investigated and found nothing? It's not the order itself that is suspicious, but everything surrounding and encompassing the order. That could make... That could then make being a member of the order a leg shackle. I was snowed under by Chevalier work and neglected the investigation as a result. That would be putting the cart before the horse. My highest priority is to fulfill my mission. It's dangerous to get too deeply involved with someone while doing an infiltration op. Mom has given me a strict warning on this. I don't have the time to go poking my nose into other things unnecessarily. That said, severing myself completely would probably not be the best plan right now. But I'm delighted you asked me. That means I was acknowledged by none other than the captain of the order herself. I'm fine whenever I'm free, but anything other than that I can't do.
そっか。残念ね。
Sorry again.
そういう意味じゃないわ。残念なのは、話が簡単に終わらなくって残念って。
What do you mean? I thought she slumped her shoulders, but she looks up at me and smiles suggestively.
もしかして、私がまだ気づいてないとでも思ってるのかしら。
She didn't figure out that he's a ninja. This is like shaping up to make it feel like she knows, but she doesn't. Actually, she might know, but she's just fucking playing with him here, and that's not what she's trying to get at. Her expression is burning with certainty, causing a shiver run down the spine.
君、わざと平凡なふりをしてるでしょ。
Again, it's just gonna sound like she's fucking caught him. It's not actually gonna go there. She's spot on, but I won't screw up and let it show on my face. I've had brutal training on that front. I'm still shocked and feign ignorance. I don't know what you're saying.
前々から君のことは気になってたのよ。そもそもうちの学園に転校生が来るなんておかしな話だと思わない？
Maybe, but I don't want to account for my parents' work, so it was necessary. That's the safest explanation. I've transferred to countless schools under the same guise. And no one doubted me.
うちの学園の学費って知ってる？年に500万円するのよ。そんな学園に親の仕事の都合で転校なんてしてくるかしら。
5 what? I almost blurted it out loud, but hastily stopped myself. I knew it cost a hefty sum to come here, but I had no idea the fees were that exorbitant. Not even a private medical school would charge that
ご
much.
両親はごく普通のサラリーマンだし、その割にはシュバリエになって奨学金をもらおうってわけでもないみたいだし、ね？おかしいなって思っても不思議はないでしょ？
She's holding some kind of documents, I realize. It's apparently the personal record I submitted when I joined the school. The organization prepared it, so emergency contacts and telephone numbers on my guardian's workplace were included. Of course, they belonged to a dummy company, and it was a perfectly normal firm on paper. Having a perfectly normal family background seems to have worked against me. Ordinary people not allowed at a school for the rich. Is that unusual for my parents to work hard to send me here? I intentionally say that in a spiteful tone to destroy the mood and try and leave, but her expression is
正
unwavering.
直、そっちはどうでもいいのよね。単におかしいなって思う最初のきっかけになっただけだから。
She usually dodges it and even continues, seemingly
む
amused.
しろこっちの方が大事だわ。ミカゲくん、アルフレッドくんに何をしたのかしら。
She suddenly touches on the main topic and it has barely managed to stifle a
知ら
groan.
なかったかもしれないけど、この部屋は人の出入りを記録してるのよ。個人情報や機密情報が多いからね。で、アルフレッドくんが捕まったあの日、彼この部屋に来てたみたいなの。おまけにもう一人一緒にいたみたいで誰だかわかるかしら。
I have no idea. I maintain a calm and shrug. Of course, I was that
びっ
person.
くりするわよ。なんとね、私がいたの。カノンちゃんたちと一緒にカラオケで熱唱してた私がよ。時間的にはちょうどミランダ・ランバルとかマリン・モリスを歌ってた時ね。いいわよね。カントリー臭いロックってアメリカの荒野が目の前に広がるみたいで。
Also, my prediction was completely fucking off, wasn't it? She is going in.
意外だったのはカノンちゃんね。デスメタルを歌うのよ。何かのアニメのエンディングだったらしいんだけど、あれにはびっくりしたわ。白金さんだって知ってる曲がこれしかないって オペラとかミュージカルの曲を歌い出すし、でもグレイテストショーメンの歌は全員で歌えて楽しかったわ。パート分けして私ヒュー・ジャックハンのパートを歌ったのよ。
Ah, yes, Hugh Jackhan.
ごめん今はカラオケの話じゃなくって、私がアルフレッド君と一緒に部屋にいたって話よね。
I wonder if the silly story was natural or an intentional diversion. I'm unable to decide as she gives me a piercing gaze from beneath her long eyelashes. It's intimidating and I sense this present, like she's trying to see through my emotions. Her smile, like soothing self-confidence, doesn't
あの
fade.
日アルフレッド君が捕まった時、団長室に私のログイン履歴が残ってたのよ。不思議だと思わない？同じ時間に私が別の場所にもう一人いたのよ。ミステリ小説でありそうじゃない？
So long as it wasn't a psychic phenomenon or something, despite what you may imagine, I'm afraid of ghost stories.
現実はもっと簡単だわ。誰かが私の ID を使って忍び込んだのよ。デバイスは肌身離さず持ち歩いてるから、きっとハッキングしたのね。
I feign ignorance, but she isn't buying it.
バレてるみたいですね。
The person who actually hacked it speaks in a fretful, synthesized voice. Of course, I'm the only one who can hear her.
となれば、当然気になることがあるわよね。
What would that be?
わざわざ私の ID を使ってハッキングした理由は何かしら？
Who knows? I certainly have no idea.
君が知ってるかどうかわからないけど、私はね、残業はしない主義なの。
That's something all the other members know. Apparently they all know how much you value your leisure
だ
time.
けど、放課後に休憩がてらこの部屋でくつろぐことはよくあるのよ。一人になりたい時とか、静かに本を読みたい時とか、あとは単純に疲れた時なんかにね。だから放課後に団長室が空になってるかどうかは私の気まぐれなの。大ならみんなが知ってることよ。
I had no idea.
でもね、あの日私が絶対に団長室にいないと知ってる人がいたわ。もちろん分かってるわよね。
Colin should have gone in. I'm in a mori.
その通り。なんせ一緒にカラオケボックスにいたんだからね。でももう一人誰かを忘れてない？君のことよ、見かけくん。
Her voice rings like someone's solving a puzzle.
まずいですね。どこまで気づいてるか。場合によっては上の判断を仰がないといけないかもしれません。
No, I'll just check out her behavior a bit more. I shake my head just enough for Moka to notice. The capture is sharp. She normally doesn't stand out, but she's very shrewd. But her deduction lacks the conclusive evidence it needs. That hasn't escaped her
今の
either.
ところこのことを知ってるのは私ともう一人だけよ。もう一人っていうのはもちろんハッキングした犯人のことね。
I see. I hold my breath and choose my words carefully. That was quite a suggestive tone of voice, but why are you telling me this? Are you saying I'm the culprit?
まさか。だって何も証拠がないんだもの。
She raises her hands and flashes me an awkward smile for the first time. Right, even if she was spot on in her deduction, she has no conclusive evidence. That's why she spoke to me in order to gauge my response. What issue is? Why would you do that? If she was trying to reveal my true identity, I doubt she'd do this. She'd let me free, lead me on, and look for the right opportunity to catch me. That's the theory, at least. But she didn't do that and put all her cards on the table, so there must have been a reason. So what do you plan to do with the culprit?
勘違いしないでほしいの。私はね、私を語った犯人の正体に一切興味ないの。実際これ以上詮索するつもりもないわ。やぶ蛇になるだけならまだしも、知らない間に虎の尾を踏んでたなんてことにはなりたくないからね。私の今の最優先事項は騎士団を立て直すことよ。私がもう一人いるならむしろ手伝ってもらいたいくらいだわ。その方が効率もいいし、お互いにとってメリットがあると思うのよね。だってそうでしょ？わざわざ私を装わなくても 本人公認でいろいろ動けるんだから、その方が良くない？
In other words, instead of restricting me, I should help her. It's a convoluted farcical discussion, but I can tell that's the only compromise you could come up with. I'm sure she can sense some kind of danger in the form of an organization behind me, otherwise she wouldn't have been talking about the risks involved. But she's still concerned enough to seek my help. That's why she avoided investigating any deeper into this and is seeking my help. Probably insurance against anything happening to her now that she's probed this far. She can't go carelessly meddling.
見かけくんは知らないだろうけど、騎士団は今かなり危ない状況なの。
To my surprise, she sounds at her wit's end.
無駄な部署や必要のない特権がはびこっててね。なのに改めようともしないから、毎年赤字なのよ。この補填、どこから出てると思う
？You don't mean the 5 million yen fee, do you?
当たりよ。
Her sighing response is clearly laced with
簡
exhaustion.
単に言うとね、今の学園は大勢の学生の学費で一部のシュバリエの特権を支えてる状態なの。
I don't know the details of what these privileges are, but they must be pretty sweet if some of these members are growing arrogant. It's only natural you'd find the current situation worrisome.
耳の痛い話だわ。でもね、アルフレッド君のやり方にも私は賛成できないわ。劇薬は副作用もきついって言うでしょ。
She must be talking about militaristic actions. There's currently discord between them and the moderate faction, and the vibes in the order are not particularly good. It's also leading to random clashes with regular students. I can sense it, even though I only recently transferred here, so the captain of the order must feel it keenly.
このままだと騎士団というシステムそのものが破綻するわ。それもそう遠くないうちにね。ひょっとしたら私たちがよく知る後輩たちが迷惑を被ることになるかもしれない。だからそうなる前に手を打ちたいの。見影くんはどう思う？知り合いが大変な目にあっても知らないふりができるタイプかしら。
A number of faces come to mind. I really don't want to see them suffer. I laugh spontaneously, which makes her raise her eyebrows quizzically. I scratch my head and brush aside my hair. It's absurd to think I was going to avoid becoming deeply involved. Probably got deeply involved a long time ago. What excuse should I give to Mom? That would definitely give me a guilty conscience. My device vibrates silently. I feel like I heard Moka objecting. But then Georgie presses me further.
私が卒業するまであと半年。それまでになんとか騎士団を改革したいの。それには私一人の力じゃ無理だわ。無駄な予算を削ったり、責任の所在を明確にしたり、ある程度の筋道はつけられたんだけどね。
Like, I'll be completely fucking honest. Just make it so, you know what? I need an excuse for Mom, so let's make the excuse. Okay, I'll help you. However, you're gonna have a recruitment talk with my superior.
おかげで部署同士で摩擦が起きたり、特権を剥奪されて不満を募らせるシュバリエたちもいて、それをどうにかしたいの。だからお願い、あなたのやることを黙認する代わりに助けてくれないかしら。
She silently bows her head, making me wonder what to do. The conditions aren't bad, if anything, even though it was a tacit approval, it means Captain would be supporting me. That may make things easier than before. The fact that she clearly demonstrated the advantage to me at the end of bargaining is impressive, and reminds me of the daughter of the former president of the Rejoji group. She understands negotiation tactics. I raise my hands in the air, half giving up. Alright!
それってつまり
I nod, swallowing the part bitter and part expected pill. How can I refuse after hearing all that? Colin and the others are my friends after all.
ありがとうミカゲくん
She leans forward and tightly grasps my
君
hand.
が手伝ってくれるなら100人力だわ頼りにしてるからね
She shakes my hand vigorously, and yet all I feel is her hand's softness making me burn up inside. I don't mind helping out, but I have one condition. You'll have to let me pass on becoming a chevalier.
あらそれはどうしてそっちの方が何かと便利よ
Then Georgie herself spoke negatively of the chevalier's privileges, and yet, given that she speaks of convenience, she must have seen what I want to do. I really can't take her lightly. As I said earlier, if I suddenly become a chevalier, it would be awkward on multiple levels. Just consider me helping you out. If that's fine, then I'll help. It's a temporary collaboration, since I don't want to become a chevalier. My primary objective is my mission. I have to maintain that stance, or I won't be able to make excuses to Mom. Mom, she'll completely see through those childish excuses anyway. But I still need to maintain that stance. Mom has said that history has shown that the presence of, or absence of a plausible explanation could rock a
手
nation.
伝ってくれるなら何だっていいわありがとうミカゲくんこれからよろしくね
Her long braided hair flutters as she smiles. I suddenly feel that heat inside quietly spread, causing me to feel my whole body burning up. I really need to get used to women. I try to withstand bashfulness that's strong enough to make me stammer, and I just barely manage to shake her hand back. Cue his mom cussing the shit out of him for doing this shit. Not actually, likely. And the next day, I immediately begin working with it in Georgie. That said, I'm not being given work straight away, but I said I'm observing what the work entails. The official stance is that I'm a squire, but I'm actually her attendant. If that terminology sounds old, then consider me a personal assistant.
さてそれじゃあ先月分の報告を聞かせて
A section of the order shows up carrying a register. She scans over it and checks what's happening in every location.
先々月に比べて全体的に予算を抑えられてるわねいいことだわ
Right, we've curtailed unnecessary spending as you desired. We can do it if you try.
そうねでも外注工賃だけが 50% も増えてるけどこれの内訳はこれのせいで全体としては 10% 減にとどまってるわ目標は 20% 減だったでしょ
Well, you see, a lot happened last month, so there were a lot of sudden expenses. They explained it away without hesitation, but I do spot them holding their breath slightly. Well, thanks to the incidents with the director and Alfred, we need to get more manpower.
その割には受領書がないわよ外注費はちゃんとハンコかサインをもらうようにって言ってあったわよね
Yes, but people missed their opportunity due to the fact that it was emergency circumstances. Apparently they left as soon as they received their wages. I'm terribly sorry. We'll make sure not to let it happen again.
そうなら仕方ないわね
The second she nods, the tension leaves their faces. I'm curious, I whisper to her. And Joji, I see an unusual change in her expression. There's a slightly tense tone to their voice and a look of relief. I inform her, and she quietly smiles.
じゃあ手伝ってくれた人の名前は学生からヘルプを募集したのよね
Huh? Their names? I completely slipped my mind, I guess.
だとしても当然控えてるんでしょ受領書を作るときに名前が必要だものね手順もマニュアル化してあったでしょ
Oh, right!
そんなに焦らないで多分何かと勘違いしてるか間違えちゃったのよねほらあなた前にも似たようなミスをしてたでしょあの時は自分の食事代を間違えて経費に計上してたわよね
Only because it was just after the internal Chevalier regulations were changed, and I used it, and I handled using the old system.
ええ知ってるわだからきっと今回のもうっかりミスよ明日までに修正できるかしら
Yes, of course. Chevalier quickly disappears quicker than a flash of lightning. In all likelihood, they were trying to falsify the expenditure, which is why they fled when it was about to be exposed. Once I can no longer hear their footsteps, I notice a wry smile being directed my way.
甘いって思うかしら。
So you were just letting them get away with it. You're not going to reprimand them if they fix it by tomorrow?
2回目まではね。あの人たちも急に騎士団としての旨味が消えたから、あの手この手で甘い汁を吸おうと必死なのよ。そんなの無駄だって分かってくれるといいんだけど、仕事はできる優秀な人たちだし。
It's kind of you to give those who've done wrong a chance to redeem themselves.
言ったでしょ。劇薬は副作用も強いって。それに今までは経費を自由に使えてたから、急に切り替えるのも難しいだろうし、改革はまだ半ばなんだし、焦って台無しにするよりはゆっくりと急がないと。
Or slowly. Sounds like that sounds kind of like a Zen riddle. Excuse me. I'm busy admiring that when another chevalier approaches. They're carrying a large, similar ledger and report their activities. Like the previous report, there's no misappropriation, and there's actually suggests ideas for management of information, which satisfies that Enjoji. But at the same time, she spots gaping holes, and they're rectified on the spot. Both the chevalier and I are impressed by how accurately she points them out, and she gives them permission straight away.
じゃあこのプロジェクトの責任者にあなたを任命します。
What? Me?
あなたの発案じゃない。あなた以外に誰に任せられるっていうの？期待してるわよ。
Yes, ma'am, I'll do my best. He's given the ultimate reward for his idea, and he salutes with a shaky voice before leaving. She deals with countless other reports and the results of activities after that. Time passes by in a flash.
疲れた。今日も一日たくさん働いたわ。
Good job, matey, so feel free to have some.
あら、気が利くわね。遠慮なくいただくわ。いい香り。
She sips on her tea, cuddled like the setting sun. I could tell from her conduct that she had a high-class upbringing. Georgie checked over every report and progress of each project and handed out a judgment. Depending on the situation, she'd not only give permission, but make amendments and allocate who would be responsible for projects. But the thing that most impressed me is that at no point did she lay blame on anyone. She'd neither disparage nor reproach them. She'd just make them acknowledge that if they made an error or omission in their report. She has more the complete makings of a senior executive of a large corporation priming her underlings than that of a capable startup director.
よかった。今日もなんとか予定通りに終えられたわ。
She looks at the clock as she drinks down her tea. I had no idea that is what the work of the captain of the order entails. It's no wonder you're short-staffed.
今日はまだ楽な方よ。もう少ししたら検討祭があるから、吐くぐらい忙しくなるわよ。
She says that as a warning, but her joking manner wins out without conveying any seriousness.
三影くんにはその検討祭の準備を主に手伝ってもらいたいの。警備体制の立案から運営までね。
Alfred was apprehended in secrecy, but Director Takazaki and other offenders were all caught in front of massive crowds. In all likelihood, it's the Bat's plan to hand out divine-like punishment to the criminals. It's highly likely they'll next strike during the combat festival. It's an opportunity I couldn't ask for. It's an opportunity, but I'm getting suspicious from how convenient the development it is. Perhaps Georgie gave me the role already knowing that. In which case, that makes her a force to be reckoned with.
今はちょうどイベントとイベントの合間でね。事務仕事が多いの。
She pours herself a second cup and squints happily from its fragrance.
今のうちに騎士団に慣れておいてくれると助かるわ。それも新しいやり方にね。
I was shocked to see that you checked all the finer details yourself.
最初だけよ。さっきみたいなのがあるといけないから。いずれ監査部門を専門に立ち上げて、そこに全部任せるつもりよ。今はそこを任せられる人材がいないからね。ああ、雨の森さんがシュバリエになってくれれば簡単に解決するのに。
Yeah, it's probably rare to find someone so capable of managing the numbers. Did you receive some kind of special training?
うちは母が医者なの。だから数値の正確性には人一倍うるさくて、それに家庭環境が特殊だから数字の読み解き方は嫌でも覚えちゃうのよね。
I see, one of the boons of having special education of the gifted.
そんないいものじゃないわ。忙しい人たちばかりだから構ってもらうのに必死だっただけよ。私ね、こう見えて寂しがり屋なの。弟ができた時なんか両親を取られるかもって本気で心配したのよ。それで両親や祖父に褒めてもらえるようにいろいろと頑張ったの。
The same person was so choked up by her little brother's smile that she took a screenshot of it.
それは今の話。弟が生まれたのは私が8歳の時だったからね。それまでも放っておかれることの方が多かったわ。
They just dated their characters. We know she's a third year. We know the MC is a second year. We know we have first years in this game. We now know their ages. She's 16, the MC is 15, same with everyone in her grade, and Yui is 14. Oh boy. That's why you don't date your characters in these visual novels.
一応気は使ってくれたのか、一人にならないよう習い事をたくさんさせられたけどね。英会話、ピアノ、習字、水泳、空手、剣術、家庭教師。何もない日の方が珍しかったわ。いろいろと身にはついたけど、ピアノだけは壊滅的にダメだったわね。
That's odd. Seems like the one that you'd be most suited
好
to.
きじゃない曲ばっかり練習させられてね。むしろ嫌いだったわ。
That reminds me, you said you liked Southern
泥
rock.
臭い曲が好きなの。どうしようもない感情をぶちまけるみたいなのがね。
Ah, that's quite unusual. I would have expected it to be the most elegant of the classical music.
真相の令状から程遠いのはちゃんと自覚してるわ。幻滅させちゃったかしら。
She has a teasing smile on her face. The crimson sunlight streaming in, the fragrance of the tea gives the room a wonderful atmosphere. And Joji drinks down her tea and stands up.
さてと、それじゃあそろそろ帰りましょうか。今日はもうこれ以上仕事はしないんだから。どうせ明日も忙しいんだしね。
Yeah, given how hard you've worked, your body won't be able to keep up if you don't rest properly.
そうよ。忙しい時ほど9時間睡眠。これを忘れないでね。だからって宿題を忘れちゃダメよ。学生の本分は勉強なんだから。
I'll be sure to remember that. Smile wryly and grab my bag. We walk part of the way together, and then Georgie tells me lots about the order. It's after she told me she wouldn't do any more work today. She seems to care a great deal about the
三
order.
影くんも気づいたことがあれば遠慮なく言ってね。そのために引っ張ってきたんだから。
Sure, I'll inform you if anything happens. But I won't be telling her about the inadequate positioning of their security cameras. Even though I don't need to sneak in there anymore, a ninja is always great for blind spots. I could always use it to my advantage should the need arise. The first few days passed this way, with me accompanying an Georgie and observing how the many things work. As a result, I've been able to grasp various aspects of the Order's duties. They do indeed have a lot of unnecessary privileges, and reforming this would be no mean task. But I can take advantage of this work to examine the inner workings of the Order. Should the bat be hidden within the auspices of the Order, I'll come across them sooner or later. I'm not optimistic, but at least I found a direction. Oh my god, I just realized something. What if she's the bat? What if she's the bat? That actually doesn't sound too absurd, I think. Hold on. What's the fucking... Okay, she has a ninja star. She has the fucking... Rapier. It's not quite Mestock, it seems. Rapier. PC. Stat. Like fucking 5 stat diagram. Rapier. 5 stat diagram. Ninja star. Rapier. Nothing. I'm not optimistic, but at least I found a direction. However, only a few days later things changed. We were exposed to a completely unexpected surprise attack. Now let's take a vote. All in agreement stand. I agree! I agree too! That goes without saying. That's a majority, therefore the Assembly is in agreement and has approved the motion of dismissing the Joji Mai as Captain of the Order of Knights. They're fools. The school has been in an unusually solemn mood all day long. It's not dangerous per se. Rather than tense, there's an eerie sense of suspicion spreading. There's a humidity-like unpleasantness, and it's making my skin crawl. I can tell that there are a number of gazes directed my way. What's more, they began the moment I walked out of the dorm. As I got closer to school, the numbers increased, and until I was surrounded by countless uninhibited gazes.
何かおかしな雰囲気を感じますね。心当たりはありますか?
I have no idea. Answer her and check out the school. There's no doubt these eerie gazes are directed my way. I doubt they found out that I'm a ninja, though. Otherwise, they would have made a much bigger deal out of it. I maintain a calm demeanor despite my suspicions when someone familiar calls out to me as I arrive at the classroom. Got on, perfect timing. There's something I wanted to ask.
こっちですジン君こっち来てください
Come on. He drags me by the arm without any leeway for questions. She ends up taking me to the rooftop. What's more, Aminamori and Shirogane are there with the same look of unease and bewilderment.
待ってたわよミカゲ君あなたに聞きたいことがあるの
She presses close to me, inquiring right off the bat. Her face is so close that I'd normally be worked up to the point of being at a loss for words, but her grave expression blows away any of my inhibitions. What happened? The whole school seems to be acting weird.
じゃあまだ知らないんですねあんなにニュースになってるのに
I was busy communicating with the organization and Mom since early this morning, so I didn't have time to watch the news. That's all I'd done today. I put off receiving communications from both the school and the order. What on earth happened?
団長さん団長じゃなくなっちゃったんです
I need a few seconds to fully process the
昨日の
words.
放課後緊急の騎士団会議が招集されたのよそこで団長の不信任案が提出され解任が決まったの
Now to think about the confusion. Now I can't think from the confusion. No confidence motion. Dismissed? What on earth for? No one had an answer to my understandable question. They all look at each other and don't open their mouths, seemingly on purpose. Shirogane must have thought it was her responsibility as she moves to speak in a grave tone.
騎士団を私物化しようとしてるそれが不信任を提出した側の言い分の一つよ
It's appropriation. I'm dumbfounded to think that Enjoji, the one who was rectifying unfairness and abolishing unnecessary privileges, would abuse her position. In fact, just the other day, she stopped a case of misappropriation before it happened. Surely you don't believe that,
こん
Roman.
な噂を信じる人なんていませんよ同感よ団長はああ見えて仕事についてはシビアだもの
Given her normal demeanor, it's possible that students who don't know her might believe
とっ
that.
ても真面目な先輩なのにそれよりも問題はもう一つの方の噂ですよ
What kind of rumor? Aminamori falls silent to my question and looks to Shirogane, appealing for help. She frowns and falls silent as well. My device then rings and vibrates loudly.
ジンさん大変です
Moka appears. Sorry, Moka, but we're in the middle of an important discussion. Can you save this
あ
for...
なたの噂が流れてるんです
Her synthesized speech is without emotion, but I can't mask her surprise. She's never done this before. A rumor about me.
正確にはあなたと団長さんだと思われる噂がその
She is one who started speaking, but hesitates. Just how bad is this rumor? I wait silently as she speaks in a resigned, grave
団長
tone.
が騎士団室に 男の人を連れ込んでみだらなことをしてたって。この男の人っても。
The mood becomes as heavy as lead. At least I think so. That's ridiculous. A breath catches in my throat and my voice croaks. It's so absurd that I can't even laugh it off. Did everyone hear the same rumor? All three of them nod sullenly.
こんな噂を流すなんて。きっと悪い草の者の仕業です。先輩、どうしてこんな噂が。
Bitterness rises from within me, so profound that I want to tear my hair out. Sure, she did bring me into the office with her, but we didn't do anything inappropriate. I just helped her with work. Damn it!
やられたわね。
Shirogane bites her lip in a rather somber
ゲス
tone.
なことをしますね。まさかここまで卑劣な手段を使うなんて。一体誰が何のためにこんなひどいことを。
It's obvious.
ジン君はもう犯人が分かってるんですか？
Not just me, Amanimori, Shirogane, and Momoka have a fair idea too, right? Their bitter expression and silence are signs of
誰
acknowledgement.
なんですか？誰がこんなことしたんですか？
Kanon holds her breath as Shirogane answers.
これは反団長派のクーデターよ。
How's it progress? Good, I've completed documentation. Captain Drenjoji. Captain? No, I mean former captain. She's just a chevalier now. You're unable to strip her of her chevalier qualifications. That would just be too overt. It was purely a no-confidence motion based on her ability as a captain and for taking a male student into the office. That student was her attendant. The rumors are suspicious, but there's no proof. That was the best we could do. Well, we were the ones who spread those rumors, though. You drove her into a corner. She can only speak out against us. Don't let your guard down. She's more capable than she seems. Stay on the offensive. Yep, keep doing what we have. Keep doing what we have been. It's now after school. I keenly felt the chime signaling the end of class. Naturally, the sound of the bell hadn't changed. It was my state of mind. They'd clearly completed the necessary procedure to oust Renjoji from her captaincy. The unprecedented event sent shockwaves through the school. It was the hottest topic in the breaks between classes and during lunch break. Story goes that she was trying to misappropriate her order privileges for personal use. She disgraced the order, disrespecting its tradition. The objective of former Captain Renjoji was to dismantle the Order of Knights. Also, she brought a male student into the office and engaged in salacious acts with him. The rumor flying around disgusts and infuriate me. Of course, there is also some serious debate. The captain's reformation was overly self-righteous. They could see she was looking to the future to try and improve it. Her personal judgment had become too fixated. Management had become more systematic and less wasteful. There was quite an uproar as their opinions clashed, irrespective of whether they were knights, squires, or regular students. That just shows how indispensable the Chevalier system has become to the school.
今日ほど授業のやりにくい日もなかったよ。みんな気もそぞろで。今日やったところはテストに出るんだけどな。
One of the teacher scratches his head in disbelief and mutters that to himself.
まあ、学園生活に直結する問題だから、みんなの気持ちもわからなくはないけどね。これから学園はどうなるんだろう。
What would you like to happen, sir?
僕としては元の鞘に収まるが一番だと思ってるかな。連城寺さんがいろいろ考えてるのは知ってるけど、和をもって尊しとなすが理想だからね。こういう考え、君たち若い学生にはピンとこないか。
No, I do. It's obviously better to avoid conflict. As a member of the organization, I'm always expected to act in that way.
三影くんは僕と同じで平和主義者なんだね。嬉しいよ。うん。やっぱり争うより仲良くした方がいいものね。
He says that with a sigh of relief and returns to the faculty room. It's probably the most commonly held opinion among the teaching staff, but I can understand that. That reminds me, I believe Mr. Cookie is an alumnus of the school. Being a graduate teacher, that must influence his opinion.
ジン君、待ってました。
Sorry I'm late. Us non-chevalier decided to gather on the rooftop. Chirugane is the only chevalier among us.
今回の解任騒動、簡単にだけど調べてみたの。団長さんを助ける方法、何かわかりましたか？あんな根も葉もない噂で解任だなんて無効にできますよね。
Chirugane quietly shakes her
い
head.
いえ、今回の解任は正当な手続きを経たものよ。これを覆すのははっきり言って無理ね。
Her irrefutable response floors
夕べ
us.
遅くに緊急の騎士団会議が開催されたの。夜中の1時頃にね。私も気づいたのは今朝で、通知が来た頃にはもう寝てたから、おかげでこんなことになるなんて。仕方ありませんよ。そんな時間に起きてるのは忍びのものくらいです。でも非常識ですよ。夜中の1時に議会を招集だなんて、そんなバカな話ありません。
Even Amina Mori, who isn't a chevalier, raises her voice. That's just how irrational this all seems. The look on Shidogane's face is grave as she shakes her head.
いいえ、これは騎士団憲章にもある正当な手続きよ。騎士団の4分の1が緊急議会を求めたとき、騎士団は議会を速やかに行う義務があるの。効力を発生させるのには半数の出席が必要だけど、そこで下された決議は通常の議会決議と同じ効力を持つわ。
That is a retarded ass system. That system is formally created for one party to abuse the authority to completely disable the other party. If there is like a half and half split between like fucking conservative and like progressive kind of factions in the Knights. Like, it is literally a system that is 100% created to make sure reform cannot happen. That is a retarded ass fucking system. Quite frankly, the fucking Order of Knights deserves to be fucking torn down if they've decided to make that stupid of a rule.
団長が出席してなくてもですか？これはそもそも団長に何かあった時のための緊急対策条項なのよ。事故や事件に巻き込まれて団長としての責務を果たせなくなったり、それこそ本当に騎士団を私物化しようとした時のためのね。
Like, yeah, it makes it easier to actually make sure someone doesn't misappropriate at all, because if enough people are like aware of it and against it, you can just immediately fucking oust them if you are just half the fucking organization. But how likely is that to happen? Not fucking at all is the answer to that.
そのため、いついかなる時でも議会を開けるようにしてあるの。
They didn't want your president in the first place.
アメリカにもそういう法律があります。大統領が人質に取られたりした時、罷免できる法律が。
This time it was used as a weapon against them. All the Order were actually informed last night about the emergency assembly. However, given the time it was sent out, many of them were under the impression it was some kind of mistake. Hold on, I'll be right back. I'm back. However, given the time it was sent out, many of them were under the impression it was some kind of mistake. The anti-Captain faction staging the coup d'etat constitutes 1/3 of the Order. If only a few of those outside faction attended when they received the notification, it would be enough to hold the meeting.
シュバリエになるくらいだから、基本はみんな真面目な人たちだからね。
And if a vote is taken, it would be easy to pass a motion of no confidence. It was well thought out.
団長がいなくなれば、反団長派の人たちだって困るはずじゃないんですか？お仕事滞っちゃいますよ。だから近々、新しい団長候補が擁立されるはずよ。そっか。団長はあくまで団長選挙で選ばれるんですもんね。それまでは私を含め複数のシュバリエが分担で仕事を担当することになってるわ。
Since the vote of no confidence was passed and she was dismissed, I doubt someone would easily take the post from her that quickly. It's one of the countermeasures against the coup. Their chance of success hangs by a thread. That said, when it comes time for a camp to be elected, they will have planned out their votes. They can't afford to be careless.
その団長だけど、誰か居場所を知らないかしら。朝からずっと連絡が取れないの。
They all shake their heads. Naturally, so do I.
朝から検索してますが、デバイスの電源地帯を切ってるみたいで、行方が追えません。
寮にもいませんでしたし、心配です。どこかで落ち込んでるんじゃ、泣いてたりしないといいんですけど。団長がそんな玉だとは思えないけど。
Agreed. If anything, she's probably hiding somewhere, scheming how to defeat her enemy.
だとしたら、私もその企みに乗っかります。騎士団とは距離を取るつもりでしたけど、今回のはさすがに腹に据えかねますから。私もです。だって団長さんはもう私たちの友達ですから。一緒にカラオケにも行った仲ですし、デスメタルとミュージカルを一緒に歌った仲ですからね。待ちなさい、二人とも。慌てないで。団長がどう思ってるかがわからないのに、迂闊に動くのは良くないでしょ。それに間違えないで。これは正式な手続きを経て行われた正当な議会の結果なのよ。ですけど、こんなやり方、私だって卑怯だとは思う。でも決まったことについては不正がない限り従わないといけない。それが秩序なの。シュバリエならなおさらよ。反対するにしても正当な方法で対応しないと。
She's absolutely right. Even if you want to start something, we have to ascertain how Denjoji feels first.
わかりました。ジン君がそう言うなら従います。私も少し頭に血が上ってました。すみません。そうと決まればみんなで団長さんを探しに行きましょう。仲間がいるってわかればきっと元気出してくれるはずですから。
I certainly hope so. Can't make my next move without knowing what she wants to do herself. Will I lose the support of Denjoji's backing, or abandon her myself? They have similar effects, but are different.
残念だけど、私にできるのはここまでよ。え？どうしてですか？ごめんなさい。でも私の立場も分かって、誰かに肩入れすることはできないの。
The Horde is currently a powder keg with a match thrown into it. The captain's faction. Now, the former captain's faction and the coup faction are fighting. Holding the title she does, she cannot choose a side. That's fair. It'd cause unnecessary commotion if you were to do that. Of course, it is also possible that her supporting one side would instantly stack things in their favor and destroy the opposition. By doing that, would guarantee the root of discontent remained. Knowing Shirogana's personality, there's no way she'd do that.
私はひとまず状況を静観します。どうするのが最適か分かれば、それに沿って動くつもりよ。今までのはあなたたちの友人として共通の友人である団長の状況を教えただけ。そもそも私が教えなくてもいずれ耳に入ることばかりだしね。
Even though she says she can't support her, she still managed to give us some information. That's ample for now. She then leaves the rooftop with a nod. After the three of us wave her goodbye, we disperse to search for Denjoji. The school corridors, classrooms, gymnasium, and the cafeteria. We scour all the buildings that she would pass through as a part of her international curriculum, but there's no sign of her. I would imagine this would happen.
まさに人生一寸先は闇ですね。
So don't you think the timing is a little too
ど
convenient?
ういうことですか？
Well, it coincidentally happened just after Alfred's incident. I was just overthinking it.
これもコウモリの仕業かもしれない。
Oh no, to be honest, irrespective of their methods, the Bat has only targeted wrongdoers thus far. I don't think he'd target Renjoji. It's just that the timing raises a lot of
せい
questions.
てはことを仕損じますよ、ジンさん。判断するのは情報が揃ってからじゃないと。
She rebukes me for being rash, and I tacitly agree with a nod. In the meantime, I search everywhere for Renjoji, but see no sign of her. Moka, can you try calling her once more to see if you can get through?
ダメです。やっぱり反応ありません。
Considering how convenient a device it normally is, it sure is useless when switched off. Make sure you never switch it off. I'm hopeless without you.
あら、AI を口説いてるんですか？こんな時に余裕ですね、ジンさん。それとも、私相手に 女の子と話す練習ですか？
What about you? Stop cracking jokes. That's not remotely what I was doing.
わかってますよ。ちょっとからかっただけです。おかげで焦りが消えたんじゃないですか？
Yeah, but now I'm sweating for a different reason. I wiped sweat off my brow, which is in part from running around. I'm thirsty too, and start looking for a vending machine when something strikes me. Kind of think that the disadvantages of turning off your device go beyond just being uncontactable. A person's livelihood, both public and private, in Sendai Academy City is dependent on the functions of these devices.
そうですね。買い物するにもこれがなければできませんし。
The city is fundamentally a cashless society. I've
ど
got
う
it.
かしましたか？
Yeah, I've deduced where Enjoji is. Temple or park. The sharp sound of ear being sliced echoes. The wooden sword in her hand cuts through the empty space as sweat scatters. Her fairly lustrous hair floats through the air, ignoring gravity. She must be dueling an imaginary enemy as she occasionally fends off an incoming attack and uses the recode to firmly counterattack. There's no wasted action in her fluid movements. I watch from a distance to not interfere. Looking carefully, I see that's not even a wooden sword in her hand. She's just waving around rough sticks of various lengths. She comes to stop, presumably satisfied. She drinks from a canteen, making her flushed, white throat move up and down. And Joji wipes her brow and calms her heavy breathing before turning around.
意外だったわね。見影くんが最初に見つけてくれるなんて。
You turn off your device. There aren't that many places in the city where you don't need it. But it was still a stroke of good fortune that she was at the first location I tried. Everyone's looking for you. The whole school is in a huge uproar at the
と
moment.
いうことは、見影くんも何があったのかは知ってるのね。
More or less. She smiles uncomfortably.
なんだか恥ずかしいわね。君を騎士団に誘っておいて、すぐにこんなことになるなんて。
Don't worry about me. What are you doing here?
言わなかったかしら。私、小さい頃に剣術を習ってたの。今でも思い出して、こうやって素振りしたりしてるの。素振りはいいわよ。無心になれるし、おまけにダイエット効果抜群だもの。
There's an ounce of fat on her, but she strokes her belly regardless. So that's how you got so strong. Never seen her in a duel, but I can see from her sword muscles. And Joji is quite the master. You even dual wield. Are you trying to be... Well, who are you trying to be? Musashi Miyamoto?
私、騎士になってからは、レイピアをメインに使ってるから。
Rapier is fundamentally used with a short sword called a parrying dagger to fend off attacks. It's primarily held in the left hand and is a weapon often called by its French name, main gauche, which means left hand.
これ、カリスティックって言うんだけど、ちょうどいいのよね。自分で切って長さも調整できるし、言っておくけど、下ネタじゃないからね。
I never even considered that. I'm a little exasperated but laugh regardless. I didn't realize you made dirty jokes.
ごめんなさい。清楚な美人像を壊しちゃって。私も女神じゃなくて人間だったってことよ。
This time we both snort with laughter. This is a collie from Filipino martial arts I've seen on TV shows and movies, but it's the first time I've seen someone actually use one.
男性アイドル俳優が映画で使ってるのを見て、練習にちょうどいいなって思ったのよ。今は通販で何でも買えるから便利よね。
What would that be? Sorry, I don't watch much TV.
結構有名な人なんだけどね。そっか、知らないか。
If anything, wouldn't you be turned off if I knew a lot about male idols?
そんなことないわよ。でもそうね。見影くんはむしろアイドルグループに入る方よね。顔だって悪くないんだし、運動神経もいいし、爽やかに笑ってみせればたくさんの女の子にキャーキャー言われるわよ。
I'd be too nervous to do that. I'm aware of how mundane this discussion is, but she is probably too. I feel reluctant to bring up the order abruptly, so I can only talk about these trivial things. She must be harboring a myriad of emotions, too, given her wry smile. The tension has been satisfactorily erased at the main point. So, what do you plan to do?
別に正式な手続きを経て決まったことだもの。受け入れるわよ。
She declared her summary of the situation without feigning
団
ignorance.
長がもう元団長だけど、正式決定したことに対してごねるわけにはいかないじゃない。
That makes sense.
見かけくんには悪いとは思ってるわよ。強引に勧誘しておいてすぐこんなことになっちゃったんだから。
There's an unbridled firmness in her voice as she avoids answering directly. I'm not really upset, but I just want to know if this is really the end. I realized that I could set her off for my own purposes and stop there. Yeah, it only just happened. She must be the one most... It only just happened. She must be the one most depressed about it. Yet I've ignored her feelings to try and reinstate her, to watch my back. Sometimes I have to be cruel for my missions. I've done so countless times before. Yet for some reason hesitation wins out this time.
だとしたら
Urged on, I reluctantly continue. Wouldn't that make all the effort you've put in for nothing?
私のやり方に不満を持つシュバリエが多かったのは知ってるわ。それでも思ってたの。ちゃんと誠意を尽くして説明すれば分かってくれるって。でも結果はこれよ。受け入れるしかないじゃない。
The way she shrugs her shoulders is quite theatrical. Even her answers sound more like a rehearsed response than something she thought up on the spot. She must have anticipated what I'd say. If she has prepared a model answer instead of giving her true feelings, then she's either undecided or trying to convince herself. Can't accept their methods. I'm sure you actually feel the same way.
悪法もまた法なりって言うわよ。
In other words, you won't deny that they played dirty.
驚いたわ。見かけくんでもそういう論法を使うのね。
I'm sorry if it seems I'm arguing just for the sake of it. It's just that this time it's unfair. It's not just me. Kano and Amanomori think so. And while she wouldn't openly say so, Shirogane does too. First of all, weren't there hard-working chevaliers who approved of your reformation? There are a lot of chevaliers who object to this decision. You're going to ignore their pleas and efforts? For the first time, an expression like swallowing a bit of pill distorts the profile of a beautiful face.
それを言われると痛いわね。
It won't just end with it hurting at this rate. Permanent stain on your record will follow you around stating that you run away when you lose.
どういう意味かしら。
She suddenly gives me a piercing gaze. Well, I'm right, aren't I? An enemy took you by surprise and had you removed from office. You can't say that was a fair attack. The fact they held the assembly in the middle of the night means they realized themselves it would have normally failed. Bad rule may still be a rule, but it's the declaration of war from the anti-captain faction. The battle has only just begun. And yet you're raising a white flag without even putting up a fight. Is that all your enthusiasm towards reforming the order amounts to? Were you lying when you said that you did nothing? The underclassmen who we know would... Were you lying when you said that if you did nothing, the underclassmen we know would deal with the ramifications? Those words inspired me, and that's why I decided to help. If you really believe that, then you should stand stronger to continue with your efforts. You should strike back now, no? I suddenly realize I've been lecturing her. I have no idea why I did that. This is because I had to prioritize my mission. Because I was trying to get her back, get her to back me again. Now, if work was my first priority, then I would have actually severed my ties with it and Joji here and proceeded alone with my mission as I always have. I've already investigated how to infiltrate the order office. No longer need anyone's help. Yet I've let my own emotions get the better of me and came out in a rush of words. Let's fight. If you can only protect something by fighting, then you must fight. Didn't the enemy already do that a long time ago? It's an act to protect our rights. Don't give up pretending it's a wise choice. My servant turns out to be far more effective than I expected.
あなたの言う通りだわ。
Her hesitant eyes light up ablaze.
審議案が可決されたって聞いて、私考えすぎてたのかもね。もっと上手いやり方があったはず。もっとみんなと一緒に頑張れたはず。みんなを納得させられなかった自分に落ち度があるはず。
Listen, some people will always refuse to understand. Some people are fucking incurable of their stupidity.
そう思ってたけど、違うんだわ。これは戦いなのよ。お互いの欲しいものをかけた戦いなのよ。だったら殴られたままで終われないわ。 同じ負けるにしても殴り返してからじゃないとね。悪法もまた法だなんて悲劇のヒロインめいた考え、そもそも私には似合わないのよ。ソクラテスはきっとド M だったのね。だからそんなことが言えたんだわ。
Masochist. The silly comment must have set a fire in me as it made me laugh out loud. I heard it was because he had a nasty wife. He must have gotten used to putting up with her.
女の立場から言わせてもらうなら、ソクラテスみたいなやたらと口が立つくせに働かない夫なら悪妻にならなきゃやってられないでしょうけどね。
Very insightful. This time we both laugh. However, her relaxed expression quickly turns somber again.
心してかからないとね。これが宣戦布告なんだとしたら、向こうは戦う準備を終えてるってことだもの。当然こっちの反撃も予想してるだろうし、慎重にことを進めないと。
Seems her mental state has recovered completely. I'm relieved and then convey some crucial information. That's true, however, I think there's something you have to do
最
first.
初にやらなきゃいけないこと？
Go back to school and set everyone at ease. She blinks at me and then forces a bitter smile.
そうね。確かにその通りだわ。今日はジン君にやられっぱなしね。散歩がてら戻りましょう。その間に頭を冷やすわ。付き合ってくれる？
Of course.
ありがとう、ジン君。じゃあ行きましょうか。
She abruptly grabs my hand and pulls me along. Huh? Before I even have a chance to process it, I feel a soft, warm sensation wrapped around my arm. And Georgie, feel her pressing against me, imparting her bodily warmth to me.
私だけ慌ててるところを見せちゃったからね。これでおあいこ。
Why is this a game?
なんでかしらね。ほんと、なんでかしらね。
Squeezes hard and I feel a different quality of softness against my arm. Crap.
何？言いたいことがあるならはっきり言わないとわからないわよ。
Yeah, but it's not something I can say out loud.
あらら、さっきまであんなに威勢が良かったのに急におとなしくなっちゃって。それとも汗臭いかしら。さっきまで素振りしてたからね。
No, it's not that. You smell good. I respond honestly to her joke. She actually smells like ripe peaches. It's quite pleasant. That's a smell I'd love to immerse myself in and take a deep whiff of. Wait, what the hell am I thinking?
制汗剤の匂いよ。
Huh? Oh, is it? It's like she read my mind and I can no longer say anymore.
ジンくん、団長さん。皆さん、団長さんが戻ってきましたよ。ただいま、みんな。
A crowd of chevaliers scrambled to assemble around her. Incidentally, there's no sign of Shirogane. She probably refrained from showing up here due to her position. Captain, where'd you go? We were so worried! But you're back now, thank
ご
God.
めんね、みんな。ちょっといろいろ考えてて、心配かけちゃったわね。
That's for sure. We were shocked given what happened. This isn't the end, right? We'll follow you, so please tell us with your own words that this isn't the end. That's for sure. Our captain isn't the sort of person to give up right off the bat. Once you're struck, you strike back, and while you're at it, you do it 3 times harder. Only after that, you'd consider why they struck you. That's our way of doing things.
ちょっと、それどういう意味なの？あなたたち、私をそんな風に見てたの？
They break out in riotous laughter that blows away any awkwardness and gloominess. On the contrary, a feverish sense of unity develops within Joji at its core. As she receives the gazes of her companions, looks back at all of them one by one, and then opens her cherry-colored lips to speak.
ありがとう、みんな。みんなの気持ち、ちゃんと受け取ったわ。ええ、そうよ。これで終わるほど、私、諦めよくないの。だから絶対に団長に戻って、やりかけの仕事を片付けてみせるわ。だから、お願い。またみんなの力を貸して。
The crowd erupts. It was a fragmented order, but that instant they became much more unified.
よかった。ひとまずこれで、騎士団が空中分解なんてことにはならずに済みそうですね。本当です。って、あれ？どうしたんですか、ジン君。 顔が真っ赤ですよ。
It's nothing. I'm aware that I'm blushing too profusely to blame it on the evening sun. She let go of my arm as we got close to the school, but I'm still hot all over. The gays were part of it, but it was the closest with that aroma and above all, that softness.
鼻の下が伸びてますよ。
I hastily cover my nose. Conan stares at me in bewilderment. I pretend to not notice and stand up straight. That's when the other knights show up. Oh, if it isn't the former captain, what might you be doing here? I turn to face the obviously sarcastic voice and see the group of chevaliers I expected there. Isn't he the one who made the claim of misappropriation? I just briefly overheard what you were saying. You're not seriously trying to become captain again, are you? What are you talking about? Don't think you'll be able to dismiss the captain with such an underhanded method? The official procedure was followed and was formally resolved. You need to take a long, hard look at reality. Faction infighting is happening right there in front of my eyes. The former captain then speaks in a calm and clear voice.
大丈夫よ。あなたたちがしたことはすべて騎士団憲章に基づいてる。それについては何一つ文句はないわ。
In that
だ
case,
からこっちも騎士団憲章に基づいて動かせてもらうわね。
she speaks to drown out the opponent's words and takes a step forward to apply pressure to him.
新しい団長を決めなきゃいけないでしょ。その団長選挙に立候補させてもらうわ。
What did you say?
騎士団憲章にあるわよね。団長が不在の場合は1ヶ月以内に団長選挙を行い、新しい団長を決定しなければならないって。1ヶ月、ちょうど検討祭が終わる頃よ。そこで今一度みんなの意思を問いましょう。改革か保守かをね。
He goes pale and then his face flushes with indignation. Naturally, he's aware that faction that managed to oust the captain by surprise is but a small minority. They'll clearly be at a disadvantage in an election. Then Georgie Mai, you're as persistent as a piece of gum stuck to the sole of a shoe!
意外と面白い習字を使うのね。君は経理より初期の方が向いてたかもね。
Shut up! We'll never allow you to be re-elected! He leaves his parting words and departs with his conspirators. Kana and Namanomori sigh in relief.
それにしても大変なことになりそうね。団長選と検討祭の準備か。今から憂鬱だわ。
All the orbital members frown. We got all that hard work again. We have to do it in the captain's absence this time. Can we weather it under these conditions? About the combat festival, couldn't it be postponed given the
そっ
circumstances?
か。ジン君は転校生だから知らないのね。検討祭がどれだけ大事な学園行事か。
He shakes his head with a stern
私
expression.
たちだって本音はそうしたいけど、学園外からもたくさんの賓客を呼んでるし、一般客にも開放してて、チケットももう発売済みなのよ。今さら変更なんてなったら騎士団のメンツが丸つぶれだわ。
Frankly, it's a major source of income for the order. Canceling it would strain the budget immensely. Might need to recruit more volunteer help than usual this year. Volunteers don't appear out of thin air, though.
ああもう予算をあれだけ切り詰めたのに結局他で出ていくんだから、我ながら何をやってるのかしらって気分になるわ。だったら私も騎士団のお仕事お手伝いします。え、本当？はい。義を見てせざるは言うなきなりです。正義の忍者ならこういう時絶対に団長さんを助けるはずですから。ねえゆいちゃん、ゆいちゃんも一緒にやりませんか？大変かもですけど友達と一緒ならきっと楽しいですよ。
Aminamori looks reluctant for a moment, nods without much apprehension.
新しい団長が決まるまででよければ私も手伝います。このまま知らんぷりしたら私が私を許せそうにありませんから。やった！一緒に頑張りましょうね。それでジン君は？
Of course, I'll help out whenever I can.
ありがとう。
However I
3
can.
人とも頼りにさせてもらうからね。
Then Giorgio, with emotion, hugs Kanon and Aminamori. I watch the two of them smiling bashfully as I ruminate over what I have to do. Oh yeah, that's gonna be an awkward talk with his mom. Or awkward infiltration, I guess. Moka, do scan. The device silently vibrates as the program activates. A little while later, a familiar synthesized voice is transmitted through my bone conduction earphone.
問題ありません。ここから校舎までデバイスの反応はありません。
Alright. After nodding, I slip into the moonless night and leap over the school gate. It's the dead of night. It's filled with a stillness that would be unimaginable at lunch. You could hear a pin drop. The air is chilling to the touch, but that's perfect for covert ops.
目標の反応を確認しました。予定通り騎士団室に集まってるみたいです。
Exactly as predicted. Well done, Moka. I'd heard the anti-captain faction would be assembling a few hours ago. According to the information we gathered from hacking their devices, they were planning to meet to discuss their future strategy. Apparently they were going to meet in the middle of the night so that the other Chevalier, the pro-captain faction, wouldn't overhear.
どういたしまして。でも油断しないでくださいね、ジンさん。あんな騒ぎを起こした後なんですから、向こうも警戒してるでしょうし。
She sounds uncharacteristically anxious. All the more reasons for us to act swiftly and expose the Mastermind beyond the enemy's plans.
黒幕、本当にそんなのがいるんでしょうか。
There's a Chevalier who stood out for attacking it in Georgie, but I don't think they're the leader, more like the local head. It's probably grandiose to speak of some mastermind, but I think there is someone behind these disturbances. It's purely my gut instinct, though. But I know from experience that gut instinct is to be trusted in these circumstances.
ひょっとしてそれがコウモリだと思ってるんです。
I don't know, but even if it is, I can help it in Georgie. If it's the bat, then I get to kill two birds with one stone.
なるほど。そうなんですね。蓮長寺さんの助けに。
What is it? You seem awfully amused by something.
いいえ、別に何も。ただ、弟の成長を喜ぶ姉のような気分になってただけです。
What the hell does that mean?
いいから気を抜かないでくださいね、ジンさん。潜入任務に安全なんて言葉はないんですから。
She's clearly changing the topic, but I reluctantly focus on the task at hand. There's still a fair distance between here and the order office, but I already have a firm grasp of where the security cameras are. I set out to perform my relatively straightforward mission. However, that instant something moves in the dark. What? I'm instantly on my guard, but something in the dark quickly grabs my hand. I know that voice. Her lustrous hair and pale skin are visible even in the dark. Her cheeks that I can tell are soft without touching them are pouting, and she's frowning as though scolding a little brother. It's an Georgie. Georgie, what are you doing at a time like this?
それはこっちのセリフよ、ジン君。あなたこそ何を企んでるのかしら?
No, I was just, Moka, what's going on? Didn't you say there was no one there?
ちゃんとスキャンしましたよ。今だってデバイスの反応は。あ。
こーら、ジン君。ももかちゃんのせいにしないの。
She grins and shows me her
通
device.
りで反応がないはずです。電源が切られたままなんですから。
Shit.
この街で暮らしてると、デバイスの電源は常時入れっぱなしが普通だものね。よほどの理由がない限り、電源をオフにしないよう言いつけられてるしね。
And I even used that to determine where she'd be at lunch. How careless of me.
まったく、何か悪巧みしてる顔してると思ったら、案の定こんなことを。大方、あの子たちの作戦会議でも盗み聞きしようって魂胆でしょ?
You figured all that out? I nodded acknowledgement since I realized it's pointless trying to deceive
こ
her.
れでも、元団長だからね。いろんな情報が集まるのよ。ピンとくるに決まってるわ。
That might sound self-serving, but could you overlook this? It's needed for our future
ダ
battle.
メよ。一人だけに危ない橋を渡らせるわけにはいかないわ。
But if you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. We need to know the enemy's movements and who their mastermind is to help win the capital
そ
action.
の意見には何の反論もないわ。辛辣かもしれないけど、確かに彼はリーダーの器じゃないから。
And by he probably means the conspicuous chevalier who criticizes Renoji.
だからってこんなこと。いい？シュバリエでもない君が 騎士団室に忍び込んで、しかも盗み聞きだなんてバレたら大変なことになるのよ。
I'm confident I won't get caught. You just got caught. That argument doesn't work anymore.
根拠は？
Of course, I can't say it based on my success of all my previous missions to date, so I remain silent.
ほら、言えないじゃない。そんな人に任せるわけにはいかないわ。
Yeah, but
いいから全部自分でやろうとしないで、私にも手伝わせて。
help what?
それに私がいればもしもの時の保険にもなるのよ。少なくとも無断で騎士団室に入ろうとしたって非難は回避できるわ。
Does that mean what I think it
言っ
means?
たでしょ。一人だけに危ない橋を渡らせないって。
You want to join me?
前から一度こういうことしてみたかったのよね。昔読んだ怪盗小説みたいだわ。三世じゃなくて本家の方のね。
Hold on, let me just... I can just...
前から一度こういうことしてみたかったのよね。昔読んだ怪盗小説みたいだわ。三世じゃなくて本家の方のね。
Okay, I think she actually said like, oh, not the third, but the original. Since Lupin the Third and all that. Hang on a minute, Joji. This isn't going to be just a simple excursion.
そうよ。大切な人と遊びに行くときはもっとちゃんと計画して実行するものだものね。
Oh, for crying out loud. She had a comeback for everything. Now I feel like Socrates' wife.
ニグチン。
What now? You too, Momoka? They're both suddenly in harmony.
別に。
お察しします、団長さん。
ああ、ももかちゃんが人間だったらこの後一晩中愚痴に付き合ってもらえるのに。
そういう機会があればぜひ。ジンさんについては私もいろいろ思うところがありますから。
Guys, this isn't the time for that. Can't stand the two of them talk about me.
そうね、そんな場合じゃなかったわね。早くしないと作戦会議が終わっちゃうわ。行くわよ、ジンくん。
Oh, come on, Georgie. Jeez, whatever. Just follow my directions, please. Resign myself and take off. This is the noisiest infiltration in my life. Once we enter the building and Georgie's commentary ends, I finally feel relief as I sneak towards my target destination. However, the closer I get to the order office, the more uncomfortable I feel. She must feel equally suspicious as she furrows her brow. It's quiet. Well, given the time, it's supposed to be quiet, but it's too quiet. On the assembled anti-captain faction, having a strategy meeting. Not only do I not hear laughter, but I can't even hear anyone speaking. We turn the corner and the officer comes into sight. A light leaks out and I can sense the presence of people. I have a real bad feeling about this. The light is on, I can sense people, so why is it so quiet?
ねえ、ここからどうするつもりなの?
She asked in a quiet voice. I normally try to find a way through a ventilation shaft to the room next door.
多分だけど、その必要はなさそうね。
I nod back and we approach the office directly. Peek in from outside and sure enough the office is empty. The light is on but there's no one inside. What's more, there's a conspicuous looking toy teddy bear smack dab in the middle of the office. It has yellow fur and sporting a red bib. There's nothing suspicious, so Enoji and I walk into the office confused. No, don't you
空の部屋に熊のぬいぐるみ。何か意味があるのかしら?
Scanning Momoka. Grab the bear and wait for her scan. She reports a short while later.
何の変哲もない。ただのぬいぐるみです。盗聴器もカメラもその他一切の機械類は
The hidden microphone and camera or whatever is somewhere else. They placed the bear to draw your attention. Either that or they're waiting outside.
作戦会議してるんじゃなかったの? それとももう終わったとか?
She stares at the teddy bear. Momoka, are there devices nearby? There are devices nearby, aren't there?
はい。間違いなくこの辺りから反応があります。少なくとも数メートル以内には。
Their GPS accuracy is down to only a few centimeters of area these days. Momoka can't have made an error there. So are they in the next room?
まさかみんなでお花を摘みに行ってる。
I don't know, but I've got a bad feeling about this. Let's withdraw.
そうね。
I turn around to a sudden noise and a flash of light. Caught in the act!
あなたは
leap back from the unexpected voice, stand guard, and the anti-captain chevaliers show themselves. One of them is holding a smartphone and appears to have just taken a
一体
photo.
どういうことかしら？
Oh, you still don't know, former captain? We just secured firm evidence of that rumor that you were taking a male student into the office. The picture of the smartphone has us with our faces close to each other. It was taken for a perfect angle to make it look like we were kissing.
それってまさか。
They got us. At the time that Enjoji was dismissed, there was a rumor she'd taken a male student into the order office. A teddy bear that had been left conspicuously on display in the empty room with the lights on. But making a step inside out of curiosity, they could get a photo of us, thus getting proof. Who could have expected them to resort to such scummy tactics? It could also be that they were the ones who spread the rumor as well. That's a real underhanded tactic. My soul grows cold with anger. These are the guys who used such scummy tactics to sabotage at Anjoji. My fingertips stroked by a hidden weapon, but Moka vibrates this device silently to warn me. As a result, I just barely managed to stop my emotions from going out of control. That could be said for you. How did you know we were going to have a strategy meeting? That's all I need to understand everything. In other words, they used Moka's capabilities against us to set a trap and lure us in. After they acknowledged they set us up well. Who tipped you off? There's no way he would have figured it out with his brains. That's why I was sarcastically implying, but he didn't notice. Instead, he actually puffs his chest out proudly. It wasn't me! I thought of how to trap you! We're going to use this picture and make it so you won't even be able to stay in the school, let alone the order.
中のことを捏造した証拠でそんなことできると思ってるの？
That's nothing. There's nothing fabricated about it. Weren't you both staring at each other in this room? Shit, that's going to mar her standing. Now I have to find a way to destroy that smartphone. If I destroy the evidence, then I can make some kind of excuse later. The thing is gingerly creep towards my kunai.
さすがにそれは看過できないな。騎士道に基づく
Hello, Alfred! Everyone present freezes upon hearing the unexpected voice.
君の気持ちはわかるけど、我々はあくまで騎士道にのっとり行動しなくては。真偽と正義と公正さ。この3つがなければ組織は成立しない。少なくともそう志さなければ、誰に対しても正当性を主張はできない。連城寺さん憎しの思いで本道を外れることは、あってはならないことだよ。
Sorry. The knights shrink back shamefully. I can sense a presence moving inside beyond the wall.
ギリギリまで僕の存在は隠しておきたかったんだけど。
Fucking knew it.
こうなっては仕方がないね。
The door opens and the owner of the voice is revealed. Then Joji and I are speechless as we stare at him. But you're...
クキ先生。
残念だよ、二人とも。こんなことになるなんてね。
Hearing his voice in the stillness of night, it echoes far more sonorously than when I first heard it. Never thought you would be the mastermind behind this.
黒幕なんて少し大げさだよ、三影くん。そもそも僕は騎士団の顧問なんだから。
He puts on a relaxed smile and responds to his normal tone of
どういう
voice.
ことなんですか？つまり、クキ先生が彼らをそそのかしてこんなことしでかしたんですか？
そそのかしたとは言葉が悪いな。僕に対しても彼らに対してもね。彼らは彼らで騎士団の未来を憂いた。その結果が今回の行動だ。
So does that include pulling off the no confidence mention in that underhanded way too?
騎士団検証は頭に入ってるからね。
裏から操って自分は表に出ない。それを黒幕って言うんですよ。
見解の相違だね。僕としては学生の自主性とやる気に任せたつもりなんだけど。
Then why did you show yourself now?
言ったろ。騎士道から外れた行為は看過できないって。それだけは立場が違っても譲ることのできない一線のはずだ。真実を歪めてまで、ましてやゲスの勘繰りを誘発するような写真でことを運ぼうなんて、シュバリエ以前に人としてやってはいけないことだ。教師としてもさすがに黙っていられなくてね。そのデータは今ここで破棄するんだ。
Sorry. Shamefully taps on his device and holds it out to him. I've deleted it, you could check.
別にやましいことなんて何もないんだから、そこまでする必要もなかったけどね。なんだったら送ってほしいぐらいだったし。
She says that jokingly in a peevish tone. She still checks it anyway and returns his device.
じゃあこれでお互い手打ちにしよう。 後腐れなしだ。分かったらもう寮に戻りなさい。
待ってください。
And Georgie steps forward with clear displeasure in her
まだ
voice.
この件について何か？僕としては一番無難な落としどころを選んだつもりなんだけど。
いえ、そっちのことは別にどうでも。
じゃあ何が
Whoops. Hold on.
いえ、そっちのことは別にどうでも。私たちも少しやりすぎたことは反省。
不満なんだい？
Fuck, I cut out. Who cares?
さっき共感したって言いましたよね。彼らの考えに。だからアドバイスしたって。
ああ、間違いなくそう言ったよ。
先生なら分かってるはずです。騎士団の現状を、どれほど無駄な予算が多いかを。
その予算も理由があって設定されてるんだろ？議論もなくただ廃止にするでは納得できないシュバリエがいても仕方ないんじゃないかな。
彼らと懇意にしてるなら、特権のおかげで自分を勘違いして増長してるシュバリエがいることもご存知ですよね。だからこそアルフレッド君だってあんなことまでしでかして騎士団を変えようとしたんですよ。
彼の正義は暴走した。それはもう正義じゃない。
だからってそうなった原因まで擁護する理由にはなりません。
改革が請求すぎるって彼らの主張にも一理あると思うけどね。
当然です。一理もない主張なんて口にしても呆れられるだけです。だからどんな悪党ももっともらしい理屈を作り出すんです。
悪党呼ばわりは感心しないな。それこそ自分と意見を異にする相手は悪だと断じているようにしか見えないよ。そういう態度がどんな悲劇を招いてきたか。
例え話の上げ足を取らないでください。
Their discourse will continue endlessly along parallel lines. No matter how scathing the condemnation, if he keeps giving evasive answers, the debate will go on forever. There's a sense of futility, as though a skilled but inexperienced prosecutor is being befuddled by a cunning politician. That's enough then, Georgie. It suddenly occurs to me that perhaps Mr. Cookie had no intention of debating in the first place. If that's the case, then why would he pursue this tiresome verbiage?
これはどういう言い方をしても怒らせちゃうだろうから率直に言うけど。
Mr. Cookie's comment interrupts my train of
伝
thought.
城寺さんのような恵まれた人生を送ってきた子は僕たちのような人間の気持ちはわからないと思うんだ。
I'm pretty sure I just heard a silent crack of lightning above it in Georgie's head. Her expression hasn't changed at all, yet the aura she's emitting has clearly changed.
本当です。
Whoops.
本当ですね。確かに私今すっごく頭にきてます。
The tension has built up so much you could cut the air with a
こ
knife.
んな汚い言葉初めて使いますけど、ぶち切れそうです。
Her outrage is making her eyes fire daggers at him. Both the Chevalier and I can consciously falter upon seeing her absolutely furious for the first time. The person who the rage is directed at just calmly accepts it.
それって私が連城寺グループ元会長の孫娘だからって意味ですよね。何の苦労もしないで生きてきたって皮肉ってるんですよね。
僕としてはただ違う生き方をしてきたって以上の意味はないんだけどな。
I can tell from his tone of voice how serious
そ
he
んな
is.
理由で改革を邪魔されるのも否定されるのも面白くありません。ましてや私についてきてくれたシュバリエたちの頑張りを無駄にされるなんて真っ平です。何より高みの見物を気取って騎士団の活動をかき乱そうとするなんて、それでも教師ですか？
He shrugs his shoulders theatrically. He must have anticipated this
こ
exchange.
れ以上は話し合っても無駄じゃないかな。僕たちの間には埋まらない溝があるみたいだ。
議論が必要だと言ったのはそっちですよ。逃げるつもりですか？
いいや。とはいえずっと話し続けるわけにもいかないだろ。もう夜も遅いし明日も授業はあるし、何よりシュバリエには検討祭の準備がある。
That last point wouldn't be a problem if your stupid ass didn't fucking pull this shit.
教師の立場から言うならテストも近い。これが一番心配かな。
He's joking, but no one even chuckles. He clears his throat somewhat uncomfortably.
時間を浪費するのはお互い望むところではないと思うんだ。だからさ。
He taps at his waist. What he's tapping at is his sword in his
シュバ
scabbard.
リエなら これで決着をつけるのはどうだい？
上等です。
Hang on there, Georgie! I've got a bad premonition about this. Don't just casually agree to that. This is just
あ
bizarre.
ら、私が負けると思ってるの？
There's equal confidence and determination to win dwelling within her eyes. I'm so surprised I flinch. She normally looks like she tries hard to not stand out, but she must have quite a competitive spirit. It's unfair to put it that way.
ごめん、その通りね。でもだからって引き下がれないの。
The anger in her voice is just barely
こ
contained.
れ引いたら私を支持してくれるシュバリエのみんなに申し訳が立たないわ。だってそうでしょ。立場は違えどシュバリエのみんなは騎士団のことを憂いて行動してるんだって思ってた。それを私の生い立ちを理由に否定されたのよ。苦労知らずのお嬢様だから自分たちの気持ちはわからないだなんてね。みんなの努力をバカにする行為だと思わない？しかもそれを教師が口にしたのよ。引くわけにはいかないわ。
She's seriously furious. She's not raising her voice, but I can tell she's just barely containing a maelstrom of rage internally. A glimpse of her emotion is emanating from her eyes. As a result, I can't tell her to just let him say what he wants. But a duel would be dangerous. Just the fact that he suggested it means he feels confident about winning.
でしょうね。だからジン君はセコンドをお願い。さすがに初めて剣を交える相手なわけだしね。
She's still willing to take a bite of what she knows is a trap. Her personality must be much more bizarre than it lets on. She may command as a leader, but she's fundamentally a warrior. Her normal sleepyhead appearance may well be her attempt to contain her own vigor. Very well, I'll say no more. Just be careful, please. You may be confident, but so is he, given that he proposed a duel. Be on guard.
任せて。
She winks at me and then turns to face Mr. Cookie.
話はまとまったかな。それで受けるのかい？受けないのかい？僕としてはどちらでも構わないけど。
Then Georgie glares at his indifferent countenance and answers.
受けて立ちます。
勝った時の約束事を決めてなかったね。
I'm actually ended here. Hope you guys enjoyed this one and see you next time. Bye bye.